So this is the Ludlow Parkrun. Now this is marked as very hilly in the 5k parkrunner app. And this is also right bang in the middle of my intensive 5k improvement program that I did a couple of months ago, where I was trying to go from a sort of mid-19 5k to a sub-19 5k. So my legs are pretty tired, but I was near Ludlow. It looked like a nice parkrun, so I thought, hey, let's do it. Nice weather as well. You see the elevation gain in the top left is already picking up. But honestly, this first k was pretty chill. Just try and get underway here, not trying to go too fast or a few people overtaking and stuff, but I knew it was hilly. My legs felt okay actually at the start. By the end they do not, spoilers. But yeah, honestly it felt fine. It was sort of undulating this first bit, and I just love these sort of parkours. I mean, look at it, out into the forest on a nice decent path. It's not too uneven. They're just really nice. This is a really my sort of parkour, I'm not gonna lie to you. But yeah, so we've done 9 minutes of elevation gain, but it's just sort of undulating in this first k. It's not that hilly at all. I was thinking, if this is very hilly, I can do this. This is easy. So it's at this point that I decided to start moving forward. Quite cautious on the start, but I thought, you know what? If this is always going to be like, oh, it'll be completely fine. As I said, I was feeling pretty good at this phase as well. Dropping down into the sort of low 4-minute sort of pace. Again, didn't really have a feel for my pace, and also, obviously, running the trees. This is not 3-minute flat pace, for example. So obviously, that's going to undulate a little bit. It is an average of the last 20 seconds, but being in amongst a forest amongst so many trees, it's just impossible. But yeah, so initially just sitting back, and now just pushing on a little bit, not quite that quickly, but probably, I think we're downhill a little bit here, so probably putting in 4 flat pace, maybe a little bit under down this hill, kind of winding around again. Look at the path. It's off-road, but it's so smooth and even. I felt really good. Now, I just thought I'd show you this. Look at the top left at the elevation gain here. It's about to leap up almost instantaneously by about 20 or so meters. There it goes. I don't know why it did that. Clearly, the hill didn't exist. But just to let you know, there's about an extra 20 or so meters on top of what it really is. But yeah, again, look at this scenery, just out in the greenery. This is really, to me, what parkrun's all about. I know it started in a London park. I get it. I know, and that's kind of what it is. But these are the best ones, aren't they? Do you guys agree or what? I just love it. I love it. I'm going to shut up about it, though. Let's concentrate on the race. We don't have to wait long, though, before getting to our first hill. And you see they're just winding around now, and now it's starting to get a little bit steeper. Almost 1k in. We've had, well, apparently 33 meters of elevation gain, and we are now just starting to go uphill. The elevation gain, I'm sure, will catch up in just a moment. But this little bit of hill here, I quite like the layout of this course as well. So basically, come back to the start, which is a central point. So if you wanted to go watch, this is the one to do at, because you can stand at the central point and you see the runners several times. But come through 1k then in 4:09 pace, and 33 meters of elevation gain. It actually didn't go up that hill, so maybe it was just preempting that hill, possibly. I'm not too sure. But anyway, coming back through the start-finish zone there, and now we start going downhill. Now, supposedly 33 meters of elevation. It felt fine in the first k. Now we're going downhill, and unfortunately what goes down must come back up. So seeing that this just went down and down and down for as far as I could see, I was like, we're in trouble here. There's some more hills coming. And sure enough, about 200 meters later, we do eventually reach the bottom of the hill with a nice marshal there waving us around the corner. Nice and dry on a day like today. In fact, I think it'd been quite dry over the last few weeks or a few months even before this. This was just sort of at the end of summer. I think it was just sort of October or so was this race time. But yeah, started to come back up the hill now. Nothing too disastrous so far. In fact, at the moment, it's not even measuring on the elevation again. There it goes. It is working. I had to be worried for a second there. A few cones out as well. Thanks to the marshals for putting all those out to make sure we're not turning our ankles. But completely on my own now, just sort of winding up through the forest here. Again, still not really too sure how to push, because I'm not the sort of person that massively researches a course beforehand, other than seeing that it was marked as very hilly. So I don't really know what to expect other than what we hear in the briefing. But yeah, just winding up the hill now, winding up through the forest. No one really to follow. You can see a couple people right out in the distance. But still for now, just sort of pushing on, feeling fresh. So 150 or so meters later, we've gained 10 more meters of elevation gain, just continue winding around that path. And we do now reach, once again, the start-finish point. Again, it's going to be an excellent spectating opportunity. You see, we have caught a couple of people up in front. I do tend to go quite well up the hills. There's this young guy in front who I'm going to call, I don't know, Blacktop. We'll be super creative with it, shall we? And here we go, back to this start-finish area here. So just now going to turn left, and unfortunately, more hill. We're not done yet, even though we're back at the start-finish section. Little thank you there to the marshals. Always important to do that. And we're going to go back up the hill. But if you look, it's not just him that I'm catching. There's 2 people in front as well. Let's see if we can just about catch them before we reach the top of this hill, because I am terrible down the hill. Well, we certainly have caught Blacktop. Just going to try and just skirt past him now. And I believe what you can see there is pretty much the top of the hill. We are still coming up for now, just approaching 2k as it stands, already on 66 meters of elevation gain. And I feel like I haven't really closed in too much on the people in front. But remember Blacktop, he is going to be coming back very, very soon. But through 2k in supposedly 438. Again, no idea how accurate that is with all the trees. Another 34 meters of elevation gain apparently, so pretty similar in those first 2k. Despite the first kilometer feeling a bit more undulating, I do think that kind of 20 meters that it skipped is maybe adding into that, so probably not quite as hilly as that in the first one. But just now reaching the top of the hill, 176 heart rate, not too bad. I can sit at 180 or so for most of a 5k, but I've done a little bit of kind of hill training, but not much. I don't live in a massively hilly area, so heart rate's going to start coming back down a little bit now. So that was all right, still feeling good for now, but we're not even halfway through yet. And just to prove my point, back through comes Blacktop. There you go. And now, to be fair, it's quite uneven down this hill. I wasn't loving this. If you look at the ground, it's not the most level. It wasn't like, you know, there wasn't massive potholes or anything like that, but it wasn't perfect level for sure. There's just got a few stones and stuff. It was just sapping my confidence, and I'm not good down the hill anyway. I tend to, for some reason, I go quickly up the hill and I go easy down the hill. It's the way I do my races. It's very strange. But look at my heart rate at the top left. Recovering very, very nicely. We should be fully ready for whatever the next hill is going to be. And there you go. Through comes somebody else just to further illustrate my point. But we do eventually come to the end of that little path, and the two in front aren't too far away for now. But now we're going to wind up once again back through the forest. So we're now sort of back into where we were in the first kilometer, not perfectly, but look at the ground now. This is now a proper trail run. Not only is it pretty decently steep, but if you look at those sides of those branches and stuff, we're having to be a little bit careful. But honestly, because it's uphill, I didn't mind this at all. Coming down this would be horrendous. Because you're coming up, you're going quite slow, and you're up into the sort of mid-5 pace, and according to the top left, it's okay. You just kind of keep an eye on where you're going, and it's fine. I really didn't mind this. In fact, to be honest, I quite like this. I thought it was quite cool. It's certainly a decent variation on just kind of flat tarmac park runs that you often get in towns and cities. But yeah, just coming up this quite steep bit now. You see the elevation gain is now absolutely flying up. We're gaining quite a few meters here. Another marshal there, thankfully just there to direct us. And we are just about sticking to the people in front. Let's see if we can catch them back up. Well, sure enough, just as we approach 3k and once again almost back to the start-finish section, we do once again catch young Blacktop. And once again, just like we did previously, we come past him up the hill. Now, there is Red Top in front. He has suddenly burst into our radar, so I don't know where he was before. We've also got Blue Top in front, who overtook us down the hill. So up the hill, we managed to go back past them. Let's see if we lose them back down the hill. Once again, they're back to the start-finish area. The finish is on the left here, which I didn't realise until the final lap. Unfortunately, though, Red Top goes the wrong way. I'm not sure how he managed that with all the cones and stuff. I don't know if maybe he accidentally got misdirected by a marshal or something. But there you go. Once again, young Blacktop coming straight back through, back down the hill. But through 3k in 4 minutes 40 with 19 meters of elevation gain. So despite having less elevation gain in that third kilometer, we actually go a little bit slower. Now, this is where I started to feel my legs. We're okay right now because we're going down the hill. But as soon as I start climbing the hill down the bottom of this little lane, I can really feel, and there you go, there's someone else coming. Honestly, I need to sort it out, to be honest. I just need to pick my heels up and just go for it all down the hill, because I always use it as recovery. But let's see if we can re-overtake them back up the hill. All right, here we go then. It's boogie time. Just a couple of 100 meters later, and we've re-caught Blacktop once again up the hill. We just come past him there. You can see the couple of people just in front, not too far away, as we do start to lap the first few people. However, Blacktop comes back through. He, despite me being quicker than him up the hills, he wasn't enjoying me re-overtaking him once again. He thought, no, do you know what? Get in the bin. I'm going to defeat you this time. So he comes back through a little surge from him. And look at my heart rate now, top left. Now you can see the pain that I'm going through. 196 heart rate. It doesn't go much higher than that, honestly. As young Blacktop does just come past Red Top there, and I come past the both of them as well. I say, thank you very much. It's a hill. I will be having these positions for now. I'm sure they'll come thundering back through on the next downhill. But for now, we've defeated them. We know we're not at the end of the uphill, though. We've got a couple more people, in fact, quite a few more people up in front to potentially take down. Let's see if we can catch those. We tick over 100 meters of elevation gain, and heart rate is now just starting to come back down a little bit from the peaks of the mid 190s, although just edge back up again. Oh, just flown back up there, actually. Back to peak again. Brilliant. 197, 198. What is going on? 198. Am I going to hit 200 heart rate? Well, there you go. I'm definitely putting some effort. That can't be right, though. 204. I can go to 204, but we're talking like hill, proper heavy hill work. So I'm not entirely sure I believe that. Unfortunately, though, the hill is not over yet. You can hear my heavy breath, though. It certainly isn't easy. I am pushing. I think the heart rate might be a little bit high. Maybe in the 190s it definitely should be, though. But let's see if we can catch anyone else before we inevitably slow down the hill. Well, unfortunately, the answer to that was no, we can't. We've just rounded the last little bit of hill. We know we've got another bit of hill just towards the end, but we're going back downhill. Now, this section here, they call it the Dip of Doom, which in these conditions, it seems hard to know why. But I imagine if it's a little bit wet, I imagine this bit, I mean, just look at this ground. We're quite nice. We've got quite a flat bit running through the middle of it all here. But I imagine when it's been raining a bit, this bit is just pure marsh and just swamp, just pure swamp. Anyway, we went through 4K in 4:57, 36 meters of elevation gain once again, dipping almost out into the 5-minute kilometer pace. So really starting to fade now, and we've just got to try and hold on to the position. I was kind of thinking, can I catch the people in front? But despite the fact we're going downhill now, still 180 heart rate, I didn't have too much more of me, and I'm once again using downhill here just to recover a little bit to make sure I've got something for the finish. Here we go then, coming back up the hill, and I just wanted to show you this because you've got this little lad in front with presumably his dad or somebody. Just listen out to this.
Hi guys, doing good.
Thank you.
Keep going.
Just had to give them some encouragement there because I love that. The little champ was just trying to run along. I think he was saying, I need a wee or something like that. But just powering along. Fair play to him, going with his dad. I really like seeing that. I just felt like I needed to give them some encouragement because they're doing so well. But anyway, back to this race then. 4.6k in. I believe my watch slightly under-read in the under the trees. I think it's 4.97 or something, so not by too much. 132 meters now elevation gain, up to 180 heart rate. And now I know I'm near the finish. We've done this a couple of times before. We're once again going to work our way back up to that central start-finish point. Again, fantastic for spectating. If you're around Ludlow, even if you don't want to run it, do come down and show some support because it's a really good park run. We've come through a few people now. I believe all these guys were just finishing out the sort of first, second lap, whatever you're going to call it. So, unfortunately, these guys are not for position. You can see just about in the distance there was a couple people for position, but at this point, I would normally push on and try and get them. Honestly, though, my legs were shot. They were absolutely shot. As I said, I was in the middle of an intensive training program, and I just didn't have anything left in them. Honestly, I felt like walking up most of these hills, but I didn't. I did keep going. I did power through, but I just had nothing more. I had nothing more to try and give. Once again, here we've got a father and daughter combo, I guess, coming through with a little dog as well. Good to see those guys out and about, but already over 22 minutes on the timer, so it's not going to be a fast one. We weren't expecting that with it being so hilly. Are we going to see young Blacktop behind, though? Well, unfortunately not. Unfortunately not. I did manage to defeat him on that last hill. He never quite managed to recatch me down the hill, and we know that I seem to be a little bit better up the hills despite how much my legs were struggling. But just coming around the final corner now, I'm going to come down into the finishing tunnel. I'm going to collect a, high 22, maybe just into the 23s if we're very lucky. And honestly, I didn't even put a sprint finish on today. That's how dead my legs were. I normally always dip sort of into the 2s, certainly into the mid 3s at the very least at a finish. But I just didn't have it in me today. I was just like, do you know what? Just fall across the finish line. This will do. My legs are shot, and I'll do what I can. I'm glad I went out and did it, though. It is just about going to be a 23-minute 5k there for the park, 139 meters of elevation gain, and I can confirm that was a very hilly park run, but it was great fun. And honestly, if I'm ever near Ludlow again, I will be coming back for some revenge on that with some fresher legs.